Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Shelbyville NOW Sports Live. Today, we're going to have our college football bowl picking contest. With me, I have Mr. Bill Anderson, Mr. Kenny Parker, and Dr. Garrett is with us again to give her expert analysis of college football and her expert picks, and we will probably lose to her, no doubt. But we got to know what's at stake.
But you're 2-0.
I am 2-0.
And he handed out the papers.
I handed out the papers. But now, if you remember, last week we made two picks. And I went against the grain.
Yeah, but the two teams that I picked,
he's confused.
Won because I picked the team with the most points, and I'm 1-1.
You're 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
you got some one of them wrong.
Oh, did I?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. All right, we're gonna pause now and hear a word from our sponsor, Duke Cannon. I know Kenny. He wants to do a commercial real bad, but we're not going to let him. He's already done enough. Well, all right. His guns are blazing this morning. Let's pause now for a word from our sponsor.
Legend tells us of a place somewhere far away, where outlet malls and vegan juice bars cease to exist. There is no Wi-Fi out here, and no one binge watches vampire dramas all day. Out here is a place where stories are told without emojis and memories are made without selfies. We're talking about the great outdoors. Introducing the Great American Frontier line from Duke Cannon Supply Company. Pine, Campfire, and Leaf and Leather. 3 big-ass soaps with unique masculine scents, inspired by the best nature has to offer. Out here, our soap will just make you smell like out here.
Duke Cannon products are available at the Winter Circle at 603 Evans Street here in Shelbyville.
I'm waiting to see what y'all.
All right, welcome back in here.
David,
hey,
you forgot to mention our guest appearance sausage balls.
Yeah, we had some sausage balls brought in here. I guess they think whoever brought those thinks we need to gain weight.
Well, Bill, you elaborate on these sausage balls? Yeah. I know you didn't make them.
No, my wife is here with Joe Garrett as well. They're in the background here. My wife made them this morning.
And I doubt if all of them leave.
Probably not. Probably not.
I doubt it too.
Okay, so we got our bowl stuff to do, but first let's talk about county sports. What's been going on with our basketball teams? I know Cascade had a big win last night at home against Lincoln County. Kenny, y'all were at the game. What did y'all think about the two games?
I think that team, Cascade boys, they play with heart. That is a fun team to watch. You should go if you haven't been.
Yeah,
yet.
I need to get out.
They play hard. The girls are. I tell you, I was impressed with Lincoln County's girls.
They could shoot.
They were one of their better. And the Cascade girls are young.
Yeah.
You don't want to talk about being young, especially if you're a parent of one of them. But they're going to be up and coming. But the Lincoln County girls impressed me. They were athletic and could shoot.
How many 3-pointers did they have?
Several. And get off they don't just reach up to grab a rebound. They get off the floor to grab a rebound.
Yeah.
But the boys they're pretty.
So far, they're the headliners of the county basketball team.
Cascade boys too. I'll say this: are in that Adidas big tournament over in Murfreesboro, where the best teams in the state of Tennessee are going to be in this tournament after Christmas. So I think it's at Riverdale too. I believe
it's at Riverdale. I think they're calling it Adidas. I heard it on the radio.
Adidas, yeah.
And
So
Lucas Clinton scored his 1,000th point last night.
That's a milestone.
Yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely.
So you've got them still undefeated at this point. What are they, 9-0 now? 9-0. That's a good start to a season. So we look forward to seeing them move on.
I think they're 10-0.
10-0. Okay. So Central, they're still struggling, but they're still fighting.
Well, they're playing better. I mean,
yeah. We had Siegel.
Had Siegel in this The girls beat Shelbyville girls won
That's
51-44, and the boys lost 60-57.
Close game there. Siegel always has a pretty good team typically, but
Siegel had beat them pretty good at Siegel here a week or two ago, so
Okay.
they played much better. Both teams did.
all right, that's signs of progress there. And then we've got community. The girls are doing pretty well. Boys are struggling at the moment. But we want to watch those girls. I think they'll kick it up and keep on growing. And
the girls won 55-35 against Harpeth at Harpeth, and the boys lost 39-54 at Harpeth last
okay,
night.
so you're going to see them improve. They got good coaching there. So
Yes.
they're definitely going to improve as the year goes on, and that's the name of the game. Get better each week, each time out. And Webb, we know the girls are doing well.
They beat Clarksville Christian earlier in the week, 84-35, and the boys play again on December 20th on Tuesday against Rockvale.
Okay,
So I
so
think the girls are playing more separate from the boys a lot with Webb.
a lot of basketball going on. Even we have the tournaments, the Cascade boys playing over at Riverdale. I might sneak over there and try to check them out. I haven't got to see them play yet, but I'd love to.
Well, they'll be playing teams substantially bigger schools.
Right.
There's not that many smaller schools at
Well,
the
that's
tournament.
that's a good test for them.
Absolutely.
Stretch makes them.
Well, they're gonna have to play like that
Yeah.
because when they get into region and sub-state, they're playing
Right.
some pretty athletic teams.
Yeah, but they play a certain way, and it's key to them to stay with what works for them. And
Mhm.
this is going to be a good test because it's going to be a different style ball probably
Mhm.
over there.
You got a big college basketball game on tonight at 9:30. I know we've got all the football today because you got bowl games, you got 3 NFL games, but tonight at 9:30 you got number 6 Tennessee at number 9 and number 6 Tennessee at number 9 Arizona.
Okay,
That's a top 10.
we're not going to make a
Basketball.
pick on that, but go Vols.
Well, that ought to be really a fun game to watch for everybody
Yeah.
to stay up and watch it. That ought to be a really good one out there at Arizona.
Absolutely. Now today we have like 4 or 5 bowl games taking place.
Mhm.
Some of the minor bowls are playing, but let's get into our picks to start with. And like we've already had games yesterday that we picked last year. I'm so sorry that you guys got behind a ball on that.
I noticed mine's in ink and his is in pencil.
I
noticed that.
I've got an
Here's that
eraser
one.
too. I've got an eraser. Okay, so we had UAB beating Miami and Troy
Hey,
coming
what a
from
ball game.
behind.
Everybody saw that.
Yeah,
Came down to the 1-yard line, and UAB makes that stop.
yeah, and
And they've got a new coach coming down there. Trent Dilfer's a new coach.
I
Yes,
say, I
yes.
say those games were at 11:30 and 3, Bill. Some of us have to work.
yes.
True.
How did you see? Did you just catch a replay on that, or did you?
I actually got to catch. We got off a little early yesterday. I got to catch the last part of the UTSA Troy game.
Okay, that's good.
UTSA's up 12-0 first half. Then they start turning it over at 5 interceptions, and they had this one receiver just could not catch the football. But Troy's good, as we alluded
Right,
to.
Troy's
Got a
Okay.
good program.
So
Yeah,
you guys made the picks last week, and you're 1-1.
Correct.
I made a pick last week. I'm 2-0 now.
Correct.
Dr.
All right.
Garrett's doing
Dr. Garrett would have picked the right one.
She would have.
Yes,
She's 2-0.
I would have.
She would have.
Absolutely.
Dr.
So she's
Garrett
2-0. Y'all better.
Signs a check.
Okay. All right.
She can be 5-0.
All right.
right.
So we've got the Wasabi Fenway Bowl, which is today, Cincinnati versus Louisville. Kenny,
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Louisville.
I'm going with Louisville.
Cincinnati.
Okay. There we go again.
There we go again. We're
Y'all
probably
gonna go down?
There we go again.
It's our
All
chance
right.
to catch up.
That's right.
Cricket Celebration Bowl. Jackson State, Deion Sanders, his last game there versus North Carolina Central. Kenny?
Jackson State.
Jackson State.
Jackson State.
Jackson State.
Neon Dion Jackson State.
All right,
Big.
that's 4 of us. Okay, we've got the PUBG, and I don't know what that stands for. Y'all can figure that out. Mobile, PUBG Mobile New Mexico Bowl. BYU versus SMU. Kenny.
BYU.
SMU.
Okay, BYU.
BYU, an interesting stat I heard this morning.
Okay.
There's 25 players on BYU that are married.
Really?
0 on SMU.
Wow.
Well, BYU's 2 years older than everybody because
That's true.
they have to do where they go out and do their
The mission,
mission
work.
work.
mission
Right.
Oh,
work.
yeah.
Well, I got a question for you. Since there's 25 married players, you tell me what advantage that gives them that where you're picking BYU.
They're older.
They're older.
Is that what it is?
I'm a King Claus.
I'm like, what?
Well, what has that got to do with it? I mean, I could see reasons that could create problems, but I'm still picking BYU.
I just thought it was funny because I had it on ESPN this morning.
Okay.
It could be a
Interesting.
way of
Interesting.
getting their frustrations out on somebody else.
Oh, now Kenny, you back off. All right, here we go.
He's gonna be in trouble.
Jimmy Kimmel has his own bowl. This
He
is
does.
ridiculous. LA Bowl. Fresno State versus Washington State. I'm gonna start with you, Bill.
Washington State.
Okay.
That's an upset pick.
Washington State.
Fresno.
Fresno, y'all going. You're losing another one. All right.
Wow.
The Lending Tree Bowl. Southern Miss versus Rice. I'll start. Southern Mississippi's gonna take that one.
Southern Miss.
Southern Miss.
Southern Miss.
Okay, we're
Means Rice is going to win.
okay. This is an interesting game. The SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. SEC, our first SEC pick. Florida versus Oregon State. Doc.
I have to go outside the SEC. I hate to, but I'm going with Florida State.
Oregon State.
Oh, Oregon State. I'm
I'm
sorry.
Oregon State.
Oregon State.
Oregon
All
State.
right. That's 4 of us.
Florida's got a lot of people not playing in that.
Yeah,
bowl.
they
And the
do.
quarterback's gone too.
It's like next year's team. And you know what? There's a lot of these
Lot of
games that
it's
we're not
going on.
digging into that we're looking at second team players stepping up
Mhm.
where some of these guys are holding out for the NFL.
You've got people going in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
You've got, if you're going to the NFL, let me ask this question. Would you let, if your child, if you thought was a first round pick in the NFL draft, why play in a bowl game?
Because you're a competitor. I
You're a
really have a
competitor.
problem with
I
that.
do too.
If
let
you're
me-
a
let me-
first round pick,
Let me ask you this.
if you're Jalen Hyatt's daddy at Tennessee, and
Why-
you're a first round pick,
What's
I
he
wouldn't
gonna
play.
do?
You tear your ACL and it'll mess you up. For
Well,
sure.
I don't disagree with you there, but if you're a competitor, you want to play.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And for your
If you're saying,
So
well,
I
I'm
agree.
getting ready for the NFL, Nick Saban had this on his show, and I happened to watch it last night. I'm not going to play in this bowl game because I'm going to get ready for the NFL. What are you going to get ready for? The combine?
Mhm.
And the stuff you use in the combine, you don't use it on the field.
I noticed none of Saban's players are laying out. Did
You know
notice
why?
that? None of
You
them.
know,
Because he
they're
has
all
a different
playing.
culture there.
They're
It's
all
called a
gonna
team.
play.
They're competitors. They want to compete and they want to play and they against the best. And that's the way you can increase your value.
Yeah. Get out there and play as a team.
But you have to
And
see
to
the other
me-
side of it.
and
You
to
tear an
me-
ACL and you go from a first round pick to a fourth round
Hey,
pick or a
right,
fifth round
but
pick.
they've got there's insurance policies that they will work on. But if you're picking for the Titans and you got Dr. Garrett here that played in a bowl game, went against the odds, and you got Kenny Parker over here that said, well, I'm not going to play. I'm going to get ready. You're going to want the one that's going to compete.
I agree.
I'm not so sure in the past has told us we're not the guy one that takes the guy with the torn ACL, to be honest with you. But
All right. I need to
Back
give a
surgery,
shout
taking
out
the first
here.
round.
Aaron Parker is watching this
Oh,
morning.
right.
All right.
Okay.
Live
Green
from
Bay.
Green Bay.
Live from Green Bay, and our mayor Randy Carroll
Uh-huh.
has tuned in to
Is he
say
up there
hello.
also?
Yeah, he's up here, not in Green Bay, but he's here in Bedford County somewhere, I'm sure.
Cool.
But that is, it's something that can be debated. But I hate seeing Cedric Tillman and then Jalen Hyatt.
I think Tillman's really hurt his draft stock this year.
Well, he's been injured,
And then he had the surgery. He didn't want to come
Right.
back and play earlier in the
Right.
season.
But
The
I
Hyatt
can't
kid,
see.
I can see the other side of it. I can see it.
Oh, I can see the other side of it. But if I put myself in his shoes, I've played with these guys and been to battle with them all year. And what I'm played for all year is what happens at the end of the year, which could have been a championship game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, but it's still a 10-2 team that was in the talk, and now you walk away.
And
Yeah,
you
it
want
just-
to continue to play for your brothers.
Right.
Play with your brothers. This is the last time, Bill, we're going to get to play the game we committed to together. But you go ahead and play because I think I'm going
But
to
I do think the college playoff changed this bowls altogether because
Well,
now
of
if you're
course
not,
it did,
it's
yeah.
not the importance that was once
Right.
there
I
before we had a
don't
playoff.
disagree.
But
Well,
how about your
this-
fans? How about
yes.
your fans that have supported you all year, and you're just going to lay down? They spend a lot of money to go to these games.
There's a bunch of them doing it.
I know it, and that's because they've been sold that. But if I'm an NFL scout or if I'm somebody that's
I
picking
agree.
players, I'm gonna pick the guys playing with his team over the guy that's sitting it out.
Me too.
And he's selfish because that's an indication of what's going to happen
That's a
when he gets
mirror.
on your
It's a
team.
mirror instead of a
Exactly.
weird.
It's become a me world.
Yeah, it
I
has.
agree.
And what's
It
the
has.
difference in this game and the last game? I mean, you played the last game, right? You're a competitor. You play.
Yeah.
Bryce Young, Anderson, both are playing,
Yeah, they
right?
are.
They're both playing.
Top
Yeah.
picks.
And Bill Parcells would not pick somebody like that.
No, I know
You
he
look
would.
at his
He
team,
would not.
he wouldn't do it. Okay, we got the SRS distribution Las Vegas Bowl, Florida versus Oregon State. We all picked Oregon State on that. All right, the Frisco Bowl, Boise State versus North Texas. Bill, start us out
Boise
on that
State.
one. Boise State.
Man, I hate to say those words because I cannot stand that program.
The blue field.
I love that blue field. What are we talking about?
But when we were at middle, and we were the number one team in the nation, and we had to go to Boise State, and they messed us up.
Bad.
I have not been able to utter those words again, so I'm just going to say the Broncos.
The Broncos. Okay, all right.
Boise State.
Boise State. All right, that's 4 of us. The Myrtle Beach Bowl. I did not know Myrtle Beach had a bowl. And when I read that, I
go
said,
to.
really? Myrtle Beach? UConn versus Marshall.
You know, Jim Moore's a coach at UConn. A lot of people don't realize that. Former NFL coach.
Yeah.
He's a head coach at UConn.
Dr. Garrett, Marshall. I'm going with Marshall.
Marshall.
You know, there's another one. There's the back-to-back. We had to go up there too, Bill.
I know.
But
A couple times.
Thunder and Herd.
Thunder and Herd. Okay. Now we've got the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. But some of these names are killing me. San Jose State versus Eastern Michigan.
San Jose State.
San Jose.
Same.
Same for me. All right. The roofclaim.com, Boca Raton. I guess that's a bowl.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Toledo versus Liberty.
Toledo. I would have took Liberty if Hugh Freeze had not left as coach. Hugh Freeze went to Auburn. I'm going Toledo.
Okay.
Toledo.
I agree with Bill.
Okay. So that's 3 against 1. I'm going with Liberty. I pull for them ever since Mason Cunningham went up there and played ball. I've kind of followed them, and from where they were right as he got there to where they are today, it's a whole different program. I mean, they weren't a major college. They didn't play the schedule.
You didn't know any of them.
Didn't know.
Didn't even know there was
No.
a university.
No,
You really didn't.
but I followed Mason as he went up there and watched. I watched him play from Northeast Mississippi, and then he transferred up there. And Turner Gill was his head coach at that time. So Turner Gill stepped away, and that's when Hugh Freeze came in. They've had 2 good coaches back to back there that's built that program. I think it's going to carry on. I think Liberty's going to beat them. I'm just pulling for them, so that's why I picked them.
There you go.
R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, South Alabama versus Western Kentucky. Kenny?
South Alabama.
South Alabama.
South Alabama.
I can't do Western Kentucky, South Alabama.
Really?
Yeah.
It's hard to go.
All right. The Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, Air Force versus Baylor.
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 Baylor for here. Radiance Tech Independence Bowl, Houston versus Louisiana.
Houston.
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 All right. Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl, Missouri versus Wake Forest.
It's going to be an interesting bowl.
Okay, we got an
Yeah, it's gonna
SEC
be
team
interesting.
here. Missouri snuck around, had a pretty good year. They played
A
some
pretty good
teams
front
tough.
seven
That's
defensive.
right, they do.
Missouri.
Okay,
Wake Forest.
Wake Forest.
Wake
for me.
Forest.
Okay, Kenny, you're out on that one.
Cool.
That's what make up some ground, isn't it?
That's right. Easy Post Hawaii Bowl, San Diego State versus Middle Tennessee. Here it is, Kenny.
Oh.
Our alma mater. Our alma mater.
I'm going with them. Roll, go Big Blue. MTSU.
I hate to say it, but I think they're going to lose today. San Diego State.
I think they're going to lose badly, San
I'm
Diego
picking
State.
middle. Hey, they did it to Miami. They can do it again. So that's two. That's going to be that could be a deciding
And
factor in our
Middle's a 7-point
contest.
underdog.
They are. San Diego State's pretty good, though. I'm telling
they
you,
are.
San Diego State's pretty good.
It's all right.
Quick Lane Bowl, New Mexico State versus Bowling Green.
Do these two teams, I didn't even know there were programs. New Mexico State. The
Bowling
Lobos. That's it.
Bowling
That's
Green.
Bowling Green, Ohio, right?
Mhm.
New Mexico State.
Okay. The Camellia Bowl, Georgia Southern versus Buffalo.
Georgia Southern.
Georgia Southern, because I love their uniform.
Look just like Alabama.
Yeah, he does.
There,
Yeah.
there.
All right.
Georgia Southern, they're tough. They
Okay.
got some.
I've got a connection to Georgia Southern, and that's the reason I'm picking them, but I think they're going to win anyway. I've got cousins that live in Statesboro, and all I've heard about my entire life is Georgia Southern. And I don't know if y'all remember back in
Ert Russell.
Yeah, but what I'm getting to is, do y'all remember the worst football in college history ever played? It was Middle Tennessee State at Georgia Southern in Statesboro during the hurricane. They did everybody up the East Coast. It was in 91, I believe, or 90. They canceled all the games, and it was just like the first game of the year. Middle and them played in an absolute. The whole field was water when it was over. You'll go check it out. But MTSU and Georgia Southern played in that, and my cousin, they beat us in that game, and my cousins ragged me ever since. But I've always pulled for Georgia Southern. They got a real strong program, so Georgia Southern there. Serve Pro First Responder Bowl, Utah State versus Memphis. Kenny.
Memphis.
Memphis here.
Going with Memphis. But MTSU, as I remember, went to Utah State earlier this year and pounded on them pretty hard.
Yeah, they did. That's the first game of the year, wasn't it?
No, it was the second.
Second, okay. Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl, East Carolina versus Coastal Carolina.
I'm a Pirate today.
You're a Pirate? All right.
East Carolina.
All right.
East Carolina.
East Carolina for me.
I'm going to go East Carolina, too.
Okay. The Guaranteed Rate Bowl, Wisconsin versus Oklahoma State.
We got people in Wisconsin watching us. I got to go Wisconsin.
Got to go. All right. On behalf of Aaron. Okay. Wisconsin. I'm going Wisconsin.
I'm going with the mullet, Oklahoma State.
They haven't been playing real well lately.
No.
And I'm wondering if
Wisconsin just changed coaches, too, though.
they did. I'm wondering if people were thinking he might be interested in some other jobs. What happened?
That guy, how many raises has
Because
that guy gotten by that?
They were playing well to start with.
Who is the natural gas? Is it T-Bone Pickens that's the big booster at Oklahoma State that always gives you money? Who is the guy? There's that big natural gas guy.
That's T-Boone Pickens.
And I think he's the big guy at
Is he?
Oklahoma State.
Okay.
And every time he says, I'm glad you're going somewhere, next thing you know, here's 5 more million, 6 more million. He's made a fortune.
All right. So what we picking there? Wisconsin for me.
I'm Oklahoma State.
Bill's out on his own limb.
I'm going out on
We're
limb.
all Wisconsin.
Yeah.
We're all Badgers, but Bill.
All right. Military Bowl, Duke versus UCF. I'm going to start this one. UCF for me.
Duke.
UCF.
Duke.
So we got 2 and 2 on that. We got to split.
I was talking to Coach Tyre. There was a boy that played football at Cascade. His name was Jordan Boggs a couple of years ago, and somehow or another they got him to Baylor, and he's playing at Baylor. He played for Baylor this year.
Is that right?
He just signed with Duke.
Okay.
He's 6'6", 280, defensive lineman.
Okay. Well, that's
Going to
a
Duke.
local connection there. We need to keep eye on
Awful
him.
good school to get to go to for an education, too.
That's something I don't think we do a good job of here in our county as far as like people that are covering the sports. It's keeping up with these kids when they
Right,
leave.
when they leave.
I mean, we've had several kids go play college
One at
football.
UCLA.
I know, and I'm going to talk about it.
UCLA.
Yes, and he's
doing a great job.
He's getting a lot of playing time. But we've had O.J. Davis play at Air Force. We've had, what was the receiver that Shelbyville had? Went up and played at a junior college up in Wisconsin. It was the Trice kid, Arias, was it? Then we had Avery Brown go play at a junior college, and Cascades had players go play just like this. That slipped through the cracks.
Mm-hmm.
We need to do a better job of keeping up with these kids. So that gives hope to the kids that are playing today.
Sure.
To
Absolutely.
say, look, these guys have gone and done something.
Right.
Yes.
We need to do a better job of that. But we have AutoZone Liberty Bowl, another SEC team playing Arkansas versus Kansas. I'm going to start this one. I think Arkansas is going to come back. They got a great coach. I think they want redemption for the season they had. They lost some games they shouldn't have. Bill?
I'm going to go with Arkansas. Kansas is on their 3rd quarterback.
Yeah.
This is their first 2
I'm
got
going to
hurt
go
for you.
Arkansas, but I love Kansas.
I do.
I love that Tukey bird on that, whatever it is.
What?
What is it, a Tukey bird?
I don't know what
whatever
that
it
is.
is.
It's a Jayhawk.
Jayhawk.
Is it a
Jayhawk.
Jayhawk?
It's a
Well,
Jayhawk.
he looks like something, but that is a neat. I like it.
Can we ask that what a Tukey bird is?
Yeah, what is a
Tukey
Tukey
bird?
bird?
I don't know if that exists.
Well, it's on the helmet, so you
Well,
got.
maybe
Fruit Loops.
Yeah, that's what it is.
it's a
Yeah,
toucan.
okay,
It's a toucan.
Okay, all right. So
So I'm going with Arkansas.
Arkansas. Okay, so we're going Arkansas all the way. SDCCU Holiday Bowl, Oregon versus North Carolina. Kenny.
I went Oregon once. Now I got to go Oregon again.
Okay.
Oregon.
Oregon for me. The Tax Act Texas Bowl, Texas Tech versus Ole Miss. I'll start this one. Ole Miss, they'll get it done.
Ole Miss, but they've not been playing well
No,
lately.
they
Surely he's going to get it
Yeah,
together.
he's gonna get it
Bowl game.
together.
Ole Miss. Yeah, I think a lot of that had to do with a distraction with his name
Right.
being with Auburn.
Yeah.
And I think Kiffin has let these guys know at Ole Miss that he's all in.
Yeah, he signed that new contract. He's locked down. So
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
He's
okay.
never locked down.
Well, you're right. But
Never. Lane Kiffin has never locked down. I will
Ole
say
Miss
this:
starts this
go
season.
look at recruiting. And Ole Miss only recruited 12 players in the early signing period. You know what that means?
transfer portal.
It's coming.
He's good at that.
It's
He-
coming.
He's built his team the last 2 years on it.
And watch the players from Mississippi State wind up at Ole Miss. It's coming there too.
He's built his program on that.
He has.
He's told them. He's told them too. He's told everybody.
Hey, you can watch his games and the shirts and all that he's wears. That hey, come on in. You know,
He's advertising.
that's right.
All right, we've got the Pinstripe Bowl, Syracuse versus Minnesota. I'll start this one. I'm taking Minnesota. I'm taking the Gophers.
Minnesota for me.
I'm taking Minnesota. Syracuse started off really hot. And
Yeah.
I think they've lost 4 out of 5 games or something like that. They really on a bad skid at the end of the year.
Minnesota.
Minnesota. All right. The Cheez-It Bowl, Florida State versus Oklahoma. Dr. Garrett, you start us on that.
Florida State.
Florida State for me.
I want to go Oklahoma, but I'm going to go Florida State.
I want to go Oklahoma too, but I'm going Florida State.
Okay.
Oklahoma's been disappointing.
All right. The Valero Alamo Bowl, Washington versus Texas. Dr. Garrett, start us there.
Texas.
I'm picking Texas as well.
Texas.
Texas.
Okay. The Duke's Mayo Bowl. Kenny, start us.
I just want to be the one. I want to watch the end of that game because they get ducked with the cooler of mayonnaise.
Oh, that is.
Oh,
that is.
God.
That's the
Yeah.
Mayo Bowl.
That is nasty.
So, do you play to win that game if you're the head coach?
Exactly.
I'm going with North Carolina State.
Okay.
Maryland.
I'm going North Carolina State.
North Carolina State.
Okay. Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. I did not know Tony the Tiger had a bowl game.
This is a great bowl.
Okay. All right, Kenny. Since you're so enthusiastic about it, this is our guy right here.
This is
UCLA
Gary.
and Pitt.
Yeah.
Big Gary.
How you going against Gary?
Let me tell you something. I watched him
go
play.
against Gary. Don't go against Gary.
No.
UCLA.
UCLA, I'm taking
UCLA.
UCLA. All right, but here's the deal. Their running back, I don't know who he used to play for, but he transferred in. His last name is Charbonnet. Y'all watch this game. This kid is special. And they've got a receiver that went with Gary to Duke. His name is Jake Bobo. He might be one of the best receivers in the country.
Now, are they still playing Gary on the defensive side?
They're playing him at defensive tackle on the run stop side. They got two. It seems like they have 2 platoons. If they're expecting pass on third down and let's say 6 or more, they bring a whole defensive front in. But he's in there on first downs, second downs, and he's
I know
made
at
some
one
good
time
plays.
they
He's
were
getting double teamed every play.
okay.
Double
Head
teamed every
coach is
play.
Chip Kelly.
Yeah,
Yep,
Chip
Chip
Kelly.
Kelly.
At one time they were sort of arguing back and forth on which side of the ball they wanted. him
Yes,
to
they
play.
want him to play tackle on offense, and he would be there plowing people, but he wanted to play defense.
Good.
But the other thing to watch in that game is UCLA's quarterback. He's something special. He's a little kid,
He is. He's very
but he
good.
can fly, and he's got a rocket arm. He's going to surprise some people, probably.
The
in the
only
NFL.
knock on UCLA is really defensively. They're not
Yeah,
very
their
good. They're
defensive
just not very
backside.
good
Well,
on
just to
defense.
let everybody know, that's December the 30th
Mhm.
at 2:30 on CBS Channel
Right.
5. So
Yeah.
make sure
Yeah,
you
be sure and watch.
get out and watch Gary play.
But I think we've all picked UCLA there. All right, Tax Slayer Gator Bowl, Notre Dame versus South Carolina. I'll start this one. South Carolina.
South Carolina playing well right now.
That's what I'm thinking.
South Carolina, they're playing great.
I'm gonna go with Notre Dame. My
There she
son-in-law, my son-in-law would get me. if I
Okay, all right. So you have reasons. All right. Barstool Sports, Arizona Bowl, Ohio versus Wyoming. I'll start this. Wyoming.
Ohio.
I like Ohio's uniforms. Ohio. I like that
It's the
green.
uniform.
I like that.
Like
green.
that green.
Dude, that's I like it.
Okay, all right. Good job, Kenny. All right.
Ohio.
Ohio. Oh, I went on a limb there. Okay. Here's the one.
I'm picking a
Capital-
team wearing orange.
Okay.
It's the Orange Bowl.
It's the Orange Bowl.
No,
So,
it's not.
hey,
It's Orange Bowl.
Capital One Orange Bowl. Tennessee versus Clemson. Kenny.
I went to football camp at Clemson 2 years in a row. I got to go with Clemson.
Boo.
Hey, I've got
Booed
all
by
the,
the audience.
I got all the garb at home. I wore the national championship ring. I wore the Orange Bowl ring. That's back when William Perry was there. I in one of these sheets. This is a fact. I had a chance to win it, and it came down to the game with Clemson and Oklahoma playing in the Orange Bowl for the national championship, and I had the sheet won, and I picked Oklahoma.
Oh.
And I rooted against them in the game because I wanted Clemson to win. If Clemson won, I lost my bowl sheet, but Clemson won the national championship, and I said I don't pick against them much anymore. So I'm going Clemson.
All right, Dr. Garrett.
I will walk home if I don't go with Tennessee. I'm going with
Look,
Tennessee.
I was ready.
Okay, so you're picking Tennessee.
Tennessee.
All right.
I think it's just got so many holdouts, and their quarterback's hurt. I'm not sure. Is it Milton?
Yeah, Joe Milton.
I'm not sure he's going to be the person.
And I think Clemson's got a different quarterback. That he's like, I thought he was a freshman, but maybe he is a sophomore. He should have probably been their quarterback
He
all
should
year.
have been all year. Yeah.
And I think Milton's a problem. Clemson's got the better quarterback. And then no Jalen Hyde here. He opted for the NFL draft. No
And then
Cedric
the other
Tillman.
receiver.
No Tillman.
He's not
What
playing.
about- and I saw something where an offensive tackle.
But he's going to play in the bowl game.
He's playing in the
gonna
bowl,
play
but
in the
he's
bowl
playing.
game.
but he's
All
gonna
right,
play in the
well,
bowl
good. I'm glad he's playing in the
Can
bowl
we
game.
talk about our recruiting class?
Very good. They've had a pretty good year.
Had a pretty good year, but we've also lost six to eight players in the portal already.
Well, you know what that means?
They weren't going to play.
They
They
weren't.
weren't going to play anyway.
Yeah, they're moving on.
And here's what I always say this, and when I was coaching, I'd always say this to my players, and I don't know why. Why you worry about what you ain't got? Worry about what you got.
Yeah.
Coach what you got. Don't worry about the ones that are gone. The ones that are gone didn't want to be with you no way.
A big get.
So don't worry about
It was a big get for Tennessee getting the linebacker out of Smyrna this week, too.
Oh,
them.
yeah.
He's a
He's a good ball player.
Yes. And how about that? We got to learn how to say Nico's last name before next year.
Nico
Quarterback. Five-star quarterback.
for
Tennessee.
Where have you been?
I'm not even
I
going
don't
to
care.
butchers.
Hey, what have I been doing?
Let's call him
Dr.
Nico.
Garrett, I'm trying to find bus drivers.
Good
I'm
answer.
trying-
Good
I'm
answer.
trying to get from the AM to the PM. When I get to the PM, I worry about the AM again.
Okay. All right. So we know you're focused on your job, Kenny. Good job. All right. So you're going with Clemson, Dr. Garrett. You're going UT. I'm pulling for every Southeastern school to win. I want us to go 11-0, which that's amazing. We've got 11 teams playing in bowl games. But honestly, since we're in a heated contest here, I'm going with Clemson because of the obvious things we've already talked about. All right, Bill, your turn.
I'm going Clemson.
Okay.
I can't go with Tennessee. Too many holes to fill.
Yeah. I just think Dabo's going to have them fired up. They're just going to have a little bit more talent on the field. But you know what? You just never know. That's why they line up and play.
That's
And I
right.
hope Tennessee wins. I hope I'm wrong here because I want to see them finish the year strong so they can kick off and have momentum going into next year because we won't see them make a run. So there we go. It's 3-1.
It's been a fun
I hope
year.
you're correct.
I think
Okay.
Dr. Garrett had her hand tied behind her back right there a little bit. So I think she was sort of forced to take it to the
She
seat.
didn't want to walk, did
I mean, Joe hadn't been here. She probably took Clemson.
I would.
She didn't want to walk.
I actually have Clemson underlined, but I thought
Well, you know what you really think, but
Yeah.
that's okay. You got to get home.
It's all right.
All right. The Music City Bowl, I'm not going to call it the Trans Perfect Music City, but it's the Music City Bowl. Kentucky versus Iowa.
I'm going Iowa. I don't understand how the Kentucky quarterback, according to Mel Kiper's the number 2 quarterback in this draft. He hadn't shown me anything this year. And I know the line that played.
And he's been hurt.
But I just don't see it. And he's not playing
with
today. Correct.
I agree with what you're saying, but when you go back and look at the history of this bowl, the SEC hadn't lost this game very much.
No, they hadn't.
So I'm going Kentucky.
But
for
they lost it
that.
last year.
Who lost?
Purdue beat Tennessee.
Beat who?
Tennessee.
Beat Joe.
That's what happened. Music City Bowl last year.
I'm
The
going
right
back.
game.
I'm
You're right,
I'm
I know.
going Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Iowa.
I'm going with Iowa as well. All right. All-State Sugar Bowl. Another SEC. Alabama versus Kansas State. I'll start Alabama, and it's going to be a big one. I think they're going to – I know Kansas State is a good team, but I think Alabama and Mr. St. Nick Saban they're going to be fired up and mad they're not playing in that championship game. I think they're going to come out and rout them. That's my thought.
I'd take Alabama, but I think it'll be close.
Close.
Boo. Boo. I'm going to tell you, I think
We need crowd control, don't we?
Right.
I
Scary.
think we're going to see a different kind of Alabama team play this game.
Mhm.
I don't think they've played their best game this year. And because of the decisions that some of the senior leaders have made, we talk about chemistry in the locker rooms and all. I think you're going to see an Alabama team play hard for each other, with each other, knowing this is going to be their last time. I think you're going to see a different Alabama. I'm going with Alabama.
Okay.
Homer.
You're right. I am a
He's a
homer.
homer.
Alabama.
I'll go
Okay.
Alabama.
All right, the VRBO Fiesta Bowl playoff game. Michigan TCU. Kenny.
Michigan's just too good.
Michigan.
Michigan for me.
Michigan and Michigan big.
Yeah.
Big.
All right. Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. How appropriate this is. Georgia versus Ohio State. That's a home game for Georgia.
Mhm.
So I'm going to start out. I think Georgia takes Ohio State to the woodshed.
Close ball game. Georgia wins, but it's going to be close. Ohio State's going to play better.
I think Georgia's going to win.
I think Georgia.
Okay. All right. ReliaQuest Bowl, and I have no idea what that is. Illinois versus Mississippi State, another SEC school. Kenny, start us there.
Boy, I mean, he just hates what's happened in Mississippi State in these last few weeks. A guy that,
Yeah.
the Pirate,
Yeah.
you just love to watch his press conferences
Oh,
because
yeah.
you didn't know what was going to happen. I think those guys are going to play one for
Yeah.
their coach, and I
Yeah.
think it's going to be Mississippi State.
Illinois.
Illinois. I'm with you, Kenny. I think they're going to rally behind that cause and try to win one for him. Mississippi State.
Defensive coordinator got their permanent gig there too, and I think they're going to play for their coach. Mississippi State big.
Okay, Dr. Garrett went out on a limb there. She might pull away from us on that one. Who knows? Goodyear Cotton Bowl. Tulane versus USC. Bill, start us out there.
This is one where it's interesting. USC should win this game big, but what do you have to play for? Tulane's never been here before. I could see them balling out.
Is
I'm
there
not sure the USC quarterback is he playing or
Is he
not.
playing? I think he is.
You know what?
I'm changing. I'm going a huge upset. I'm going to take the Tulane
Oh,
Green
wow.
Wave to
Oh,
upset
my
USC.
All right.
My upset of the year.
Upset of the year. Okay, Kenny.
They can score.
I think UCLA wants to get that Utah taste bud out of their mouth. And I think UCLA will win.
USC,
USC will win this game.
USC for me.
USC for me as well. Bill, you're on the
I
one
am.
there. Citrus Bowl. LSU versus Purdue. Another SEC school. I'm going to start this one. I think LSU is going to come back and beat Purdue.
I want to take Purdue, but I'm going to take LSU. But I want to take Purdue. I love their coach.
I'm going LSU.
LSU.
Okay. All right. We've got the Rose Bowl. Utah versus Penn State. January 2nd. I'll start this one. Utah's going to beat Penn State.
And beat them badly. I like Utah. I think Utah is one of the better teams in the country.
I love her uniform.
He's all about uniforms.
I'm telling you,
and-
I do. I will go to every game that's on TV to see what their uniforms look like.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, I just enjoy looking at and Utah has a way. I like their coach also. He's hard nosed. But I'm going Utah. That's basically the only team out west, Utah, that I will watch because I think they play a SEC version of football.
They're physical,
Mm-hmm.
more physical than anybody else on the West Coast.
I
That's
agree.
why they won the game. That's why they took USC.
So
to
y'all
win shit.
both taking Utah?
Absolutely.
Utah.
Utah. Okay. College football national championship. We pick them here. Kenny, start us out. Who you picking to be in the championship
He
game?
wanted to go last. He wants to go last.
We've already picked them.
Yeah. And who was that for you?
It was Alabama and Michigan. It was Michigan and Georgia.
Okay. So who wins that game? And then as a tiebreaker in the championship game, total points scored.
Georgia will win.
Okay.
Now I'll have to figure out. Let me figure out what I want.
All right. Well, he's figuring, Dr. Garrett.
I
What do
say
you got?
Georgia, but I hadn't done my points yet either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bill, Georgia.
Georgia total points 48.
All right, I've got Georgia total points 74. It'll be a 33-30, 34-30 game.
Points being scored in two defenses. That's what I'm saying.
I don't either.
I may be high at 48.
Yeah, I think I'm going 42.
42.
Mhm.
Okay. I think it's going to be.
See
I
how
think it's going to be in the 30s.
See how Kenny
I know.
Claus snuck in there and got to the last
I know it.
Dr. Garrett ain't gone yet.
Let me have that pen over there.
You want the red one or the black one?
You,
The red one's the one you
I've
mark
heard about
mistakes
your old
with.
math report card.
The red one's the one you mark mistakes with.
Word on street, one time he failed math, old math teacher. Now,
Yeah,
that's
but
what his brother
you know
told me.
what? After that, I learned how to use an eraser.
I'm gonna go total points 56.
56. So I'm expecting a higher. I just think it's going to be like 30 range.
You got two really good defenses.
You're on
here.
me. You picked 48. I picked 42. Dr. G went 56. So you better be spot on or you don't have a chance.
No, I don't.
Now, I could see this playing out as a tie here, the way we've picked. So this total point thing might come down to that.
Actually, I think the Tulane may upset USC is going to put me over the top.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
All right.
Green wave, man.
We hadn't decided what the winner gets at this point.
They get to do a Duke Cannon commercial.
Okay. All right. That sounds like a winner.
No, that would be a
any
loser.
idea?
Yeah, would it?
Any ideas?
I don't know. It might be something that the fans.
Okay, I got it. Whoever wins this gets the snowman.
Can I change some things?
You want it that bad, or you just
Yeah.
don't want to win?
I thought I had some ornaments around.
No, you took those
Oh,
away.
okay. I did,
All right.
didn't
Guys, I appreciate y'all having fun doing this with us.
I? Next
And,
week. So it's Christmas Eve.
It's Christmas Eve. We're going to take that day off. Let everybody be with their families. Everybody's got stuff going
And
on.
everybody-
I wanted Kenny to dress up as Kenny Claus.
Yeah.
Well, I asked if, and I was told no.
We might do something special between now and then. You just
But
better
well,
know.
here's the thing. Next week is Christmas Eve, and then the following week is New Year's Eve.
I know. We'll have to do something in
And
the
the
middle.
Titans play on Christmas Eve next
Let's
week.
don't talk about the Titans. Oh gosh. Do you want to talk about the Titans before?
I'll
we
tell you
man,
this,
what's
y'all
the
want
inside?
to pick what the line is. It couldn't be high enough for the Chargers. This is going to be brutal Sunday.
You think so?
I think it's good. I almost took the Jags last week because I see that chemistry. That I see something that's not just the injuries. There's something not right here.
What makes you think that happened?
Now, there was a lack of effort at times in the second half. I've not seen a Mike Vrabel team have the last week against the Jaguars.
What happened during the week?
That's a good question. The general manager.
Well, boom. You drop a bombshell. When you drop a bombshell, it takes a little while to get your feet back.
Defensively, can't stop anybody right now. And Justin Herbert's got his weapons back.
And you got to you got to fly all the way around transcontinental. You got to go all the way over. That's always hard.
Yeah.
Are you going 2 time zones?
Yeah.
And they probably left, seriously, an hour or so ago. Because they all travel on the day before the game. When they go to away games, it's not like college where you would go do a walkthrough the next day on the field and stay in a hotel 2 nights. NFL's one night. They don't even go to the stadium
Right.
Until it's time they get ready to play. And I just, anytime you have to go that kind of trip, you look at the records when somebody
not
goes
been
from
good.
coast to coast. It's tough.
All right.
No Traylon Burke, no Burks.
I know.
2 corners out.
David
D'Amico
Long's out.
Autry, David Long's
He's
out.
for the year, isn't he? Pretty much. He's
I
on
do
injury
think
reserve.
there is going to be a change. You're finally going to maybe see the left tackle change this week, but I think it's going to be Dylan Ravens playing left tackle. We'll see how that
Here's
goes.
what I don't understand. I hadn't seen any
I
major
like
injuries on the field, but then all these guys are on the injury list. You don't during the game. You might see one here and one there. Get up, they come back in, but then
Somebody
they're like,
somebody brought this up the other day, and I think there needs to be. I think there needs to be something to look into. This vegan diet.
Yeah.
No protein.
That's right.
Vegan diet is no protein. What's muscle?
yeah, it's
What's
protein,
most-
And I've
yeah.
heard that over half of grass, the majority of a lot of Titan players
I
have
mean,
a vegan diet.
You can drink protein powder.
Colin
and all this
Kaepernick,
kind of
what was
stuff.
his downfall? If you remember him, he went to a Super Bowl. He goes on that vegan diet, and he looks anorexic, and all of a sudden he can't play anymore.
And
I mean, it wasn't about him kneeling; it was the fact he couldn't play at an NFL level, so why he's not playing.
Right.
And a lot of it started with that
The
vegan
old
diet.
Titan Marcus Mariota this
Yeah.
week went on injured reserve, but was benched.
Yeah.
And supposedly had a phantom knee surgery now or something, but he never was
This
on an
is
injury
his
report.
way out the door.
Yeah,
What this is.
it's-
I just don't think there's anything to do with the injury, but
what are
just-
you gonna
don't never know the
do with your
story.
bowl sheets?
We're gonna leave them right here unless you want to take them with you. I trust y'all with them.
No, I don't
We
trust
got it
myself
all.
with it.
We've got it on.
What I like about this bowl sheet is it's got the dates, the times,
Yes,
and the
it does.
TV channel.
Well, I'll tell you what
does.
you can do.
That's
You
what
can,
my
take it
dad
you can
did.
take
Change my
you can
Tennessee
take that
one.
Twitter phone
Oh,
of yours
you're-
and make
you're
you a
changing
picture
your
of it and have it on
Tennessee
your
pick.
phone.
Well, I
Had
said
Clemson.
Tennessee. I
Oh,
had
here we go. Here we
All
go.
right. Yeah.
Oh, Joe, you better.
Somebody's walking home.
And Jake Tyre and Angela better give us credit for picking Georgia on here.
That's right.
Here you go. You better
Take it.
No. I'll
Okay.
lose it.
All
I'll
right.
lose it. Listen,
We'll just leave them here.
you know I'm gonna search the TV. I want to see what their uniforms look like. We ought to have one of those contests. Who had the best bowl uniform? Have you seen?
The best bowl uniform.
Have you
Okay.
seen? Seriously, Utah and Penn State have both shown, and Ohio State has already shown what they're going to wear in their game.
What's Penn State going to wear? I've never known them to change uniforms. That's a
But
tradition.
I agree. But it was in. I don't remember which one it was. They're going to have a rose in their number. It's like if it was a number 1, they're going to have a big rose on the top of it. It's 23 right in the middle. They're going to have a rose and do. But yeah, they don't. But you know, it's fun to see how Ohio State showed what they're going to do with their different uniform when they're playing Georgia in the
Whatever
in,
bowl.
in, in,
Yeah.
in the championship bowl games. But you know, they're just
Well, I know
kids
when-
get into it.
Yeah,
Kids get
When
into it.
Tennessee went with that orange helmet, I turned it on. I thought I was watching Clemson, not Tennessee.
Well, let me say this about Tennessee. And I think this is a positive, but a lot of Tennessee fans out there were going to probably tell me no. When you look at Tennessee kids talking about committing, the kid from Smyrna the other day when he
Mhm.
committed, what kind of jersey was he wearing? He's wearing the black jersey
Yeah.
with the orange number, the black helmet. You're seeing a lot. Is that going to be something that happens at Tennessee where they're wearing?
We have been. We do the grays every year.
I
We
mean,
do the blacks once a year.
But I've seen a lot of kids that commit. You know, when
You
they
know,
commit,
who started
when
this
they
uniform?
commit,
Oregon,
they like-
Oregon started this.
they like to
But in
do all
the
that
SEC, it
stuff.
was Kiffin.
But you're seeing
Yeah.
a lot of
Even in
Tennessee
Tennessee, it was Kiffin.
commitments and all wearing the all black
Right.
helmet gear and all that. Even when they talked about kids that were gonna opt out this year and go to the pros, and when they're showing, they're wearing all black.
What? But I'm an old fogey, I guess. Tennessee's colors is orange and white. Alabama's is crimson and white. Can you see Nick Saban wearing black?
No,
I can't either. Can you see? All right, James Franklin up there. The tradition at Penn State is that dark navy blue, is it, and white?
Joe
Is that their-
Paterno would have never stood
No,
for that one.
or
He
is
was
it black?
after
Is it black or dark navy? It's so dark, it's almost black.
well, it's not black.
No, it's a
dark,
deep
dark,
navy,
dark
dark
blue.
navy blue. I can't see that team coming out in purple one day.
Well,
I
you
mean,
know,
I just can't see it. It's
They
just-
Alabama changed their uniforms one year,
Mhm.
and it was a big deal that they were going to do a retro style. And I looked at it, and I looked at it, and I looked at it, and I said, "What is different? What is different?" And they had some houndstooths in the stripe of their helmets.
Yeah.
That was the big deal. They had some light houndstooth in the. I saw this thing the other day that Cleveland Browns are changing their uniforms this week.
They could use a change.
You know what?
Ugly. Talk about ugly uniform.
You know what? You know what?
Cleveland got
You know what? You know they're always the plain helmet with the Oreo stripe. You know the Oreo cookie stripe. You know what their helmet change is? I can tell you if I ask you next week, you still won't be able to tell me what their helmet change is.
That's
But
small.
What their uniform change is.
It's not like the Bengals coming out in the white.
No.
I thought that looked pretty good.
You know what their helmet change is going to be?
What's that?
White face mask.
Wow. Okay. Well, guys, it's time to wrap this thing up.
Good enough.
Well, guys, thanks for sitting down there.
Thanks,
Hey,
Dr.
hey,
Gary.
Dr. Gary.
I had a
You're going to
good
come
time.
back to the unveiling of the winner when we do this.
Absolutely.
All
I'm
right.
gonna take a picture of mine in case Bill cheats.
Yeah, you might
You
want to
gotta,
do
you
that.
better.
You better.
If I get the
I-
Twitter,
I
I'm
did
going to
mine
start
in
taking
pencil.
photos.
I got a shout out for
sausage balls.
sausage
Yeah.
balls.
The outstanding.
Thank you, Andrew.
All right,
Very
guys.
good.
Thanks for
They are
watching.
excellent.
We'll be back soon. We'll make an announcement when we're coming back out. We might surprise you guys and jump off script and do a day besides Saturday since we've got 2 holidays coming up. But thanks for watching. We'll be back again.